Welcome to the 411 podcast. What's going on, everybody out there? If you're out there on Facebook, I want to say what's going on. I saw a couple people out there on Instagram popping in and out. Twitter, thank you so much for the love out there. I appreciate everybody out there. You can check me out on YouTube at Laren Gaines, same as TikTok, D Live, Twitch, and you can get small clips of the show on Daily Motion. So let's get right on into the song of the day. This is going to be a powerful night tonight. I know it's going to be a powerful night tonight. Energy, Drake. On the album, mixtape, if you're reading this, it's too late. 2015. So what I have to say about this track here, it speaks reality, what's going on in my world. So if you're reading this, it really is too late. I'm not going to let anybody steal my joy, take away my energy. And we're going to talk about what will you do to protect your peace and keep your energy levels up. That's what we're talking about here tonight on the 411 podcast. So it is what it is. I mean, how far are you really willing to go to protect what you work so hard for? That's where we're going with it. Energy by Drake, 2015. If you're reading this, it's way too late. Straight up. It's way too late for real. I want to give a very special shout out to Shantae. She came through last night in Rich Mom. She said she had 16 books that she wrote, and small, quick little books to give you everything that you need about parenting, give you some advice. Please go ahead and check out Enrich Mom, followed by the number one. So that's Enrich Mom, number one. Also want to say what's up to the $5 Jewelry Queen. She definitely has sponsored the 411 podcast before, so please go ahead and check her out as well. Author all the way from India, thank you for checking us out. Shravya, I think I got your name right every time I say your name. I go back and forth with it, but Shravya all the way from India, thank you for checking out Reading Between the Wines and the 411 podcast. Will serve. We have Rowang all the way from South Korea, same as Christopher Temporale all the way from South Korea as well. Offset, I think I'm saying this right. Offset CBD Shop. Thank you for checking us out. My girl, Danny, she has a podcast, My Survivor Voice podcast. Shanti Refuge, another friend of the show. She has 26 journals. So I had a friend who wrote 16 books, and then I got another friend who has over 26 journals. Check out Shanti Refuge Journals on YouTube. Mr. Jason T. Davis, all the way from California, and Sev Raps. So, funny story about Sev Raps. Sev Raps, I'm wearing Sev Raps tonight. So, Sev Raps, sent something else, and somebody stole the package. So, your raps are so fly that when people see the package, they actually steal it. So, we're going to catch them and we're going to get what's ours. So, shout out to Sev Raps for, hooking us up here on the 411 podcast. And I also want to give a very special shout out to my boy, Mr. Alex Coquito, all the way from Puerto Rico. We just got done taping Midnight Vibes. So check us out on Saturdays. We have a new episode out, Midnight Vibes. Check him out, Alex Coquito on YouTube. So go to YouTube, type in Alex Coquito, and you will get Midnight Vibes. We have, I want to say, roughly like 10 shows now on his channel, and we talk about some crazy things. Here we get some inspiration, we get some motivation, we get some healing, and we get on out. When you go over to Alex Coquito's page, it's definitely totally different. So you get to see me talking about different topics and, laughing and doing some, different things than what you'll see here on a 411. So I want to give a shout out to him for inviting me to be a co-host on such an awesome show. Let's go ahead and rewind this thing. Something you lost and you wish that you can have back. So what is something that you've lost that you wish that you can have back? When I asked this yesterday, I had some time to think on it, and I'm sticking to it. I say some of the friendships, maybe not necessarily the individual, because sometimes people play a certain role in your life and they're here for a reason and season and all of that great stuff. So, not necessarily that I would want to have that person back, because typically once people exit, it's never really my track record. Most of the time, it's never really a nice exit. It's always some drama, it's always some issues behind somebody leaving my world. But one thing that I would say I miss some of the feeling that I had with the friendships, not necessarily the individual, because once you piss me off, I think that's pretty much it. But the feeling of having, certain people as friends, and what came out of that. And I was thinking, you know, when I would, some of my previous worlds that I was in, I met some pretty good people and I met some pretty good friends. And I would say I miss that feeling of having, a close bond with certain people. So you lost something, you wish that you can have it back. I say be very careful about saying that you wish that you can have a person back, because that will ultimately, I believe, this is my experience here, stunt your growth and hinder you from getting to the next level. So don't try to hold on to the actual person. I would say cherish the memories and the feeling that you had behind once that person was there. But be very careful with wishing that you actually can have someone back who was actually supposed to exit your life for a reason. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. What's going on, Lash Maverick Essentials? Thank you for joining on Instagram. Now, after you get through all of that you're going to get through, you have some hurt feelings, some hurt situations. Some people might have point fingers, maybe they're not. Maybe it was a nice, clean goodbye, and that's what it was supposed to be. And going forward, we could only hope that. We could only hope that we could be adults behind the situation and say, okay, it's done. But after you get through it and you realize there's something that's called peace, there's something that's called quiet, there's something that's called happiness. Any of you out there who are experiencing this for the first time, which I know it's strange, but I'm experiencing some nice peace, quiet, and happiness for the first time, and I'm learning how to make sure that I create that for myself. No longer looking and seeking in someone else to try to make me happy. No longer looking and going to other places for things to make me happy. I'm looking within. Once you get that and you tap into it, it's awesome. I got to tell you, it's awesome. And I fight for it all the time because sometimes it's not always there. It's a battle that I have to go through each and every day to get to my happy spot. Once you get there, how far are you willing to fight for your peace? I just want to know. Like today, I fight hard for it, and if that means that I can't have you around me, if that means I can't go here, I can't go there, if that means I need to go into my little area, go into my little box where I don't want to be bothered, just so that I can get my peace, that's what that means for me. Because years ago, I would do everything, go everywhere, be everything to everybody else. Meanwhile, I had no inner peace and I didn't know what it felt like to actually have that until right now. Now that you got it, sometimes you don't want to lose it and you don't want to compromise. You don't want to give it up for nobody. And when I say nobody, I mean nobody. How far are you willing to fight for your inner peace? I need mine. I will disappear in a heartbeat. People will be upset. They don't know where I'm at. They don't know why I'm acting the way I'm acting, because I need to get away. I need to escape and I need to have my inner peace, my inner happiness. Something that I've tapped in and I've learned how to open up and trigger, push those buttons in myself for the first time. So I fight hard each and every day for it. What about you? People out there watching, if you're coming across this for the first time and this is a replay, go ahead and drop it in the comments and let me know, how far are you willing to fight for your inner peace? Now we have special guest Lizzie Collins coming in tonight. So we're going to reach out and see what's going on in her neck of the woods. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the 411.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I think I heard a little dog in the background, huh?
Yes, I have a dog.
What kind of dog do you have?
It's a mini pincher. It's a red mini pincher.
I love other people's dogs. Um, I had this conversation with somebody maybe almost a week ago. Um,
Mhm.
I love other people's dogs because I don't have to put in the work behind it.
I see what you mean by that.
So, like, it's good that you got a dog. I'll pet your dog, all of that great stuff. Long as your dog is nice, clean, happy, cool, we cool. But then at the end of the day, I get to walk away from it, and that's just a beautiful thing.
You're right about that.
Because I used to be trapped. I felt like it was just interesting. I used to work for a pet store.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I trapped myself with a bunch of pets and stuff and got myself into some situations that I shouldn't have. So this is the first time in my life that I'm like, I'm good with pets. You can have it, but I'm not.
Uh, I see. It's my first experience like having like a dog because it's actually my husband's dog, and when we moved in together last year, so
Hmm.
now it's like we take care of the dog together. So yeah, it's definitely like an experience, especially because I didn't have a dog before. So, but
So
he's energetic, little bad at times, but he's good.
I know all about it. So you got a little package deal. So you got the husband and you got the dog with it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you that if I ever get into that situation again, um, you have to, you know how when you're dating a single parent and you gotta like almost date the children too to make sure that it's good.
Yeah.
I tell you that this time around, I would have to make sure that it's really good. Like the dogs would really have to love me because I've been in some situations where the dog don't like me and it's not good.
Oh no. Oh no. Yeah.
Not good. Same
Yeah. You
thing.
don't want to be under torture.
Yeah. So where are you calling from tonight?
Oh, I live in Irvington, New Jersey.
I thought so. I saw the zip code and I'm like, yeah, this is Jersey.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is
Jersey.
Jersey. So how is it in Irvington?
It's like it's not too bad. Like we're in like there's like a complex area called the Mill Run, so it's between like Union and Irvington. So we haven't had like any issues here. It's pretty calm. Besides the maintenance in the apartments, that's besides the point. But it's a very like small town and everything. Because I actually used to live like the town over. I used to live in Hillside.
Oh,
So
I know
so
where.
I used to have to pass through Irvington.
Hmm. So I know where Hillside is and Irvington, and I definitely know Ewing, Union. And I'll tell you that
Yeah.
Union is real interesting because it has its rough parts, and then it
Yeah.
has its real nice parts.
Yeah.
Is Irvington the same?
Yeah, it's the same. Especially like in the area where I am, and then like you go to like either a different block or a few blocks down, and there's like a rough part and a good part. It's kind of like that. It's the same thing like in Newark and stuff like that. There's nice places that they built up, and then there's rough places too.
Oh, that's interesting. I had no idea that there were any nice parts in Newark, but thanks for
Like
sharing it.
the Prudential Center, like by like where the train station
Oh,
is,
oh
they
yeah.
build up a lot, like where you can go for like the shows and stuff. Like anywhere that's like like the downtown area where people go for like the performances and like to hang out. Like that's like the pretty nice part of Newark.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So you are a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
So your business is, let me make sure I got this right, Anime Ink Art.
Yes.
So how did you come up with the name?
So I've always watched anime since I was in third grade. So that's where it came from because I started drawing in third grade and originally it was just like looking at things like I was a reference drawer. So like I could look at something and like, recreate it. So over time I started watching anime about fifth grade. And then ever since then, I've just been drawing anime. So that's where the first part of the name comes from.
Mm-hmm.
The second part comes from because during college there's a challenge called Inktober where you draw in like ink. You're allowed to use pencil and then draw in pen, which I do, and you share your stuff on social media. So before I started anime ink art, I used to like every October post my different drawings because there's like a prompt that you do. So that's where it came from because some of the designs that I ended up uploading to my store in the beginning, they were from my October drawings, and I kind of just designed it and made it something more than what it was. And that's kind of how like anime ink art came about because it was like a combination of like all those things, and it just happened randomly when I was making the store. And I'm like, that seems to fit. That seems interesting. I'll name it that.
Okay. All right. So you said third grade, and
Mm-hmm.
of course, anime inspired you. Now, I don't know anything about anime, but I know a lot of people watch it, and I've had someone recently ask me about it, but I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
When I did take a look at a few things, it was very
Mm-hmm.
adult like. I'll have to tell you, very, very adult like. So you said the third grade. So what were you watching at that age?
So, no, it's fine. It's something that like I know like for people that doesn't watch it, they're not aware that it's kind of like watching any like movie or almost like Netflix, like anime as like a genre.
Okay.
So there's like different categories. And so there's stuff for kids, there's stuff for like us as adults, and there's like in between and like for older people. So there's like the slice of life, like almost like equivalent of like when people watch like K dramas or
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
like Hallmark and stuff like that. So like that's more like not gruesome and like crazy. Then it's like if people watch like their off-brand content, they have the off-brand content side of anime, or if you like Game of Thrones or like the MCU, Marvel and stuff like that. There's anime that caters to people like that if they want to delve into anime, and also like romance and fiction and mystery. So there's like a genre and different anime for each one, and that's what like people don't know until they like kind of get into it, and they're like, oh, okay, there's like options. It's not just like off
Well,
brand.
yeah. Okay. I mean, the last book that I
Yeah.
opened up, I I was in France and I was in a bookstore and I opened up one, and even then, still, it must just be the books that I attract to. Like it was interesting in there. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
this is what we do. This is what we doing inside these cartoons here. But so, what is your favorite one? If I could ask that, favorite.
That is hard. That is
Okay.
hard, but I would say one that I like recommend to people. There's a few, but there was one when I started called Read or Die. I know that's a weird like title, but it was just for me when I first watched it. It was just creative. Because we've had shows where they're like bookworms and stuff like that, but the fact that they use these people's like love of bookworms and gave them powers and they were like saving the world and everything, and there's like a secret organization, and they were able to like manipulate paper and this and all that, and I was like, this is very interesting, and it kind of made me realize like how creative they get with some of these animes. I'm just like, how do you even come up with some of these some concepts? So
I know.
that's one anime that I bring up.
Read or die. I want
Yeah,
to.
interesting.
I want to say what's going on to my D Live family out there, all the way from Canada. What's up? I think your name is Freedom for Alberta. Howdy, Larynganes. Good to see you streaming, bro. Thank you for joining in. And I saw my brother Joe Calico from Brooklyn was going on, and Queens of Nature Crown. Thank you for joining. And Tease by, I'm gonna just say Tease by because I don't want to butcher your name. But thank you all so much for coming in and joining us here on the 411 podcast. We have special guest tonight, Lizzie Collins, and she has a business, Anime Ink Art, and she's telling me all about anime because I know absolutely nothing about it. And I'm learning. This is what we do here on the 411. We learn about our guests and all of the wonderful things that they have to offer. So, you been into anime since the third grade. That's what you got inspired. You have your business now. So, what does Anime Art Inc. offer to folks like me?
So I have a store on Redbubble, so it's an e-commerce store. So there's over 100 products available in all of the designs that I make. So I do anime, sometimes I do cartoons. So it's all in that spectrum. And you can get like t-shirts, mugs, comforters, pillowcases, just to name a few things. Coasters, jigsaw puzzles, book bags. There's like a wide variety. So I usually put my designs on those, and you can get them online, and I also try to go to pop-ups, so I get a few of my inventory items and I sell my merch in pop-ups. Also on the side, recently, for the past 2 months, I've been trying to do commissions, so business logos, if you want portraits of yourself, whether it's animated or just regular. If you want, anime related, because I have like a community of people that like anime. If you want full body pictures, if you want like smaller pictures, which we call them chibis, they're like cute little tiny like characters. So I do things on the side as well now, and I just try to do my content but promote other small like black businesses on the side with my business, just to help with networking and to get all of this out there. So that's kind of what Anime Ink Art is about and my business is about.
Okay. One thing you said, which sounds awesome, is a comforter. So
yeah,
that's good. That's a good gift.
Yeah, it is.
So price range, what is like an estimate, someone would pay surfing your products? Just an average. Someone comes in.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would say like the average is between as cheap as like maybe $3, and then probably like highest is maybe like 100. And usually it's only like the items which is like let's say the comforter or like metal canvas prints, because there's like a lot of resources that go into making those things, but there's a pretty like decent range. So there's things for people that may not be able to afford that much, and then there's like a mid range. So that's like the range. I don't think it ever goes over like $100, and that's only for like one item.
Okay, that's decent. And
yeah,
shipping wise, is this just in the U.S.? Because anime is everywhere. So is it just?
So for the print service that the Redbubble provides for my store, they do a few countries. I don't remember all of them by name, but I know it's mostly U.S. shipping, and then there's like a few countries that they ship out to internationally. It may not be all, but there is some for international shipping.
Okay, all right, that's good. All right, so now have you been to any of these conventions?
art. I was at some of the anime conventions, like Anime NYC, Anime Next, and I do keep up to date with all of the current cons. When COVID happened, I haven't been able to go, but my goal is to get my work there. So there are a few cons that like I have in mind. Some of them are black owned ones because I have a community that I'm part of called Famicom Online, and there's a lot of businesses, like anime related, non-anime related, musicians and artists, and they go to a lot of the cons. So some of them that I plan to go to hopefully next year is like BlurredCon, HCBU Con, like those are black owned, and I'm also going to go to a con later on this year for leisure, and then probably vend for them. It's called J1C Con, and they're like this is like a long. This is supposedly supposed to be the longest running black owned like gaming slash anime convention, and I just learned about it, so I can check it out in Atlanta City.
Yeah, I can see you doing good at these events here. That's the first thing that came to mind. So,
Yeah.
other than that, when you do your vending, you just mix in with other vendors, like
Yeah, it's been like easy to do that at first because there was somebody at work that actually sent me like a general like vending opportunity, because a lot of small businesses, they do like their own events and they charge like a certain fee and amount, so they either contact you through email or via Instagram, or you can contact them. So that's how I've been like doing it, and it's kind of helped to like I will do the conventions because I know it will do really well, but then at the same time, I felt like doing the normal vending opportunities, it kind of exposed people to this kind of work where they otherwise wouldn't have. And a lot of times I've found that people have friends that may like it or they'll suggest it. And I think it's still a good idea to do it, even if you know that people may respond to it weird. But over time, like that is actually like people have actually appreciated the art of it, even if they don't watch it. Some people get really excited and they're like, oh, I watch it, and I'll definitely check your site out. I just think whatever exposure you can get your hands on until you go to conventions, I still think it's important, especially like art markets and just like general like markets, or just vending in general is just great because great opportunities, and sometimes you find other artists too that you can collaborate with.
Now, how long have you been in business again?
So recently, so in October actually of last year.
Oh, that's good. Congratulations on that. So you're coming up on your 1 year anniversary soon. So do you have anything special planned?
I'm hoping that it'll be more designs that I'm going to create that are more like things that people like popular items. I'm going to try to see if I can do sales and get sales codes especially for those on my email list and for new people. So I'm going to like think of things to do, and hopefully one day I'll be able to do like a meetup one day. So I'll see as the month goes on. But definitely I'm trying to just like improve on my content and improve on like the designs that I do make, especially since it's coming closer to the year. Just improving on everything.
So how much private time do you need to be a creator? I talked about protecting, my peace earlier, and part of my peace is being able to be a creator, create, write, think, have time to myself to get everything all together. Sometimes, well, it's not sometimes, I know it's the truth when it comes to me, when I have too much around me, too much noise, too much chatter, too much just a bunch of everything, it will affect my creativity. And I've had my creativity stifled for years, if not decades. So now that I actually have it back since the pandemic, I refuse to let anybody come in and try to mess that up. So with your creative side, How much time do you put into that?
For me, it is always a balance, especially since I still like work full time. So I definitely try to balance it, especially because like now I'm married, and that and being creative. But ever since starting anime ink art, I think it's like improved a little bit because before I felt like I was always busy and doing everything that I didn't have time to draw as much
Mm-hmm.
or give myself the space to draw as much. So actually, like the Inktober's used to be like my chance to draw. Like it was like, okay, well, that this is what I do every year. I'm gonna do it, and then like I put all of my attention to it for like 31 days straight,
Mm-hmm.
and then afterwards I used to have like a long break, and then it would repeat. So definitely like when I started anime ink art, it's like I'll dedicate like the weekend sometimes. Like at least if it's like 2-3 hours, and I try to draw, I try to make content, and then I go from there. Even if I have a few hours after I try to make a routine for myself. So once I get these things done, then it's time for anime ink art. So maybe even if it's 2-3 hours, and I try to do that just so I'm still pushing out things creatively, and I learned that even if I don't have a design out, because yeah, it takes a few hours, sometimes even like a day or two, depending on how busy you are to make a design. But there's still time to promote your business, and that's
Mm-hmm.
in a sense being creative. So I
That is
use
true.
also that as a creative outlet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I try to balance my time. So like a few hours within each day, and then more time when I have days off and weekends off.
That's good. Now, do you have a good support system to help you keep everything together? Does your husband, is he a part of your support system?
Yeah, I can definitely say it's part of my support system because he definitely like gives me ideas, especially like when we go to pop ups, like how to promote myself or what items I should make that would like attract people. And also just he always comes with me to my vending events, whether it's he's like driving me there, making sure that I get all my stuff in. He helps me pack. He helps me set up, and that's really like a great help, especially when you accumulate a lot of inventory.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that the people that I met along the way, whether it's just like encouraging words, especially when I'm feeling nervous, like doing podcast interviews, for example, they'll encourage me just do it, get out there, don't be nervous, just kind words of encouragement. Like my mom and my dad, they're good support systems for me because they're like my number one since it started. My mom, like every time I go to, she comes to a pop up with me. She's like, I'll buy this and I'll buy this,
Mm.
or like she'll tell her friends and stuff like that. And like I went to her house the other day, and it's like I could just pinpoint things that she bought for me. So like I'm grateful to have like those close family and friends.
That's very good. It's always good to have a good
Yeah.
support system. And when it's people who are close to you, that makes it even better. Start with family.
Yeah.
When family kicks in, and then you have those good friends who are, close to you. Now,
Yeah.
if you can go ahead and let everybody know where they can follow you at, drop your social media handles and also your website where, people can tap in.
Okay, so you can follow me on TikTok at Lizzie Collins Love. You can follow me on Instagram at Lizzie Collins Love as well. And the link to my store is actually in the bio. There's also a link to my link tree. So I actually have a LinkedIn for the store if you go to Anime Ink Art. And then I'm also on Facebook, so you can follow me on Anime Ink Art. A lot of them tie into Instagram, so that's when Instagram is the one where you can get the most updates, links for pop-up events, and definitely it will take you directly to the Redbubble store. So those are like most of my socials.
Okay. All right. So you are on TikTok. So I'm always curious when people say they're on TikTok. I want to know, like, what do you create? Like, do you create these awesome videos on there?
The funny part about the TikTok is that I originally started on TikTok, and then the creativity from the TikTok videos transferred to Instagram. But I
Mm.
still do have videos there because what happened was that I started off just doing slideshows on there of like my different items because
Mm-hmm.
I have like product pictures that I take, and I was doing slideshows, and I was getting a good amount of views on that. And then when I started like doing transitions and changing and this, I didn't really get as much views from it. So then I realized, well, let's see if the same thing that I do on TikTok with those videos, if I get more traction on Instagram, and it kind of gets a better response. So I end up making more of the creative videos on Instagram now. But I still have the
Mm-hmm.
TikTok because when I do shout out businesses other than mine and like cosplayers, they tend to have TikTok. So like I still interact in that way, and we follow each other back and we share each other's stuff. So yeah, that's my relationship with TikTok at the moment.
Okay. All right. We have Miss Lizzie Collins coming in, and now we're getting ready to get into segment of the show, which is burning questions. And I basically flip it, and I put my guest in a hot seat, and I ask a very random question that has absolutely nothing to do with what we're speaking about. And she's going to give her opinion, and I'm going to give my opinion. And there really is no wrong answer. And if you're out there listening, I just want to say thank you so much for joining in and drop it in the comments and, play along with us here. So, burning questions. How do you escape from being stuck in the middle of other people's bullshit? So, for example, you might just be minding your business and you got two or three friends that are gathered up, and all of a sudden, two or more might be going back and forth, and you're just minding your business because that has nothing to do with you. And they just say, "Hey, Lizzie, what about this? Remember this time? What's your opinion on this?"
Oh man, that question. Oh, I felt that in my soul. I would say I had to learn that the hard way of how to deal with that. I would say the best thing to do is like set your boundaries of what or what not you will tolerate to handle at that moment, especially if you're trying to protect your own energy. Because sometimes it's like, especially if you're one that they want to come to for those type of things, because
Mhm.
either you're level headed or I don't know, you just give good advice. Sometimes they don't realize that that drains you, especially when either they're not there when you need the help in this, but they're still asking. So sometimes whether or not you have to evaluate, is this person really there for me, or are they there as just a crutch? And you just have to say to them, like, listen, like, whatever is going on between the two of you, if it has nothing to do with me, you guys need to settle this. I could listen, but at the same time, you shouldn't take advantage of my time. And
Mm.
then see their response. If they're negative about it, then you probably should reconsider your circle. If they're willing to listen, then it might improve the situation, and they might pick and choose when to bring that drama, because now they know that your boundaries are, I want to protect my energy. I don't want to be involved in drama that's not my own, if that makes sense. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that you say protecting energy because that's something that I spoke about at the top of the show here. Like protecting my energy, protecting my peace is very important. So for me, I think the people around me know. Sometimes you have to, and I know it sounds terrible, but sometimes you have to let people know what you will put up with and what you won't. And I don't like this. I
Yeah.
don't like to use the term train people, but almost
Yeah.
train people so that they know what you're going to tolerate and what you're not. So for me, I think a lot of people around me know not to even take it there. And
True.
today I just get up and I just walk away and I disappear. Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna involve me in that BS. I will get up, I'll walk away, I disappear. Always all over the place anyway when there's a bunch of people. I don't try to like stay in
Yeah.
one spot, stay stuck in one
Mm-hmm.
conversation. I sort of like move around and interact with a bunch of different people, because when you got a lot going on, you just want to keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving, and try not to get stuck into too many conversations for a long period of time. But that's how I escape.
Yeah.
I just get up and I escape for real. But I think the last time I actually got caught up into something and I really did
Mhm.
escape, I said what I had to say and I just walked out and I shut the door. So two people were going
Yeah.
back and forth, and I think
Mhm.
I kind of sort of got sucked up into some conversation, which I probably shouldn't have because I stayed a little bit too
Yeah.
long. But I said what I had to
Mhm.
say, which was very neutral. And by me walking
Yeah.
away and shutting the door, let both of the
Mhm.
individuals know that, yeah, we're not doing this. Like, you ain't gonna get
Yeah.
me in it.
Exactly.
And it's so funny that you say protecting your energy, because if you don't, whatever BS that those people had going on or whoever have going on, you will get sucked into, and then all of a sudden now you're walking away with an attitude or feeling drained for no good reason when
Yeah.
when it had absolutely nothing to do with you at all.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, there you go. That's burning questions. I want to say thank you for participating. I appreciate that. And one more time, if you can go ahead and let everybody know again where they can go and follow you at.
Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram at Lizzie Collins Love, and the link to my website will be in the bio. It's the Redbubble store where I have all my items. You can follow me on Facebook at Anime Ink Art, Twitter Anime Ink Art as well, and I'm also on TikTok. So yeah, that's where you can follow me.
Now, is there any last thing that you would like to go ahead and leave us with tonight before we get out of here?
Well, just thank you for listening. It means a lot, especially with me just starting it a few months ago, and getting these opportunities mean the world to me, especially just to interact with people and get to know people and probably support people along the way. And just whatever tough times we're going through, just be safe and happy and follow your dreams.
Well, I hope that the 411 listeners will, go through and support you. I have been told so many times that when people come on here, they do, some of my followers go through and follow them as well. So I hope that that helps you out as well. And please feel free to come back on the 411 at any given time. I appreciate you. And you have a good evening and stay safe out there.
You too.
All right. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Good night. All right, y'all. So there you have it. That was Lizzie Collins coming through. And what a great turnout tonight. I want to say thank you so much to the people who joined in from Instagram, Facebook. We had D Live show up. I appreciate my D Live family. Again, I am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, D Live, Twitch, and you can get small clips of the show on Daily Motion. If you would like to support, please go ahead and click the link above all of my social media platforms. And you can go inside of 1.5 Deliberation Remix Journal. That is a 30-day transformational journey towards a healthier mindset. The man that you see here today was not here a year ago, 2 years ago, and I basically talked about protecting my peace and protecting my energy and sustaining all of that good stuff. And I could not be who I am and be right where I'm at here today without going through this journey. So I'm basically inviting you in to go ahead and go through this journey with me. I'm telling you a little bit about my past, telling you right where I'm at here today, and I'm opening it up for you because this is a journal for you to go ahead and write your thoughts, speak positive affirmations and things over your life to help get you to where you need to be in your world. I live in my own world. You live in your own world. You do what works for you. And at the end of the day, don't let anybody tell you who you are. I say today, you don't get the opportunity to tell me who I am. I tell you who I am. After living so many years of having someone sit here and tell you who you are, what you're going to be, what you're not going to be. Once you finally can tap in and realize that the power that lives within you, you too will not let anybody tell you who you are. Because all of the things that people have spoke over my life and told me what I was going to do and what I wasn't going to do, trust and believe none of that ever came to light. And that's confirmation for me now. You told me that I'm going to be this. Oh, you told me I'm going to be that. I got you. Let's check the facts. I'll check you out in a year. You check me out in a year, and we'll see who's right and who's wrong. After I knew what the energy and the power that I have that lives and sits inside of me, and I know what some terrible, nasty things that people have said about me, absolutely not. Don't believe anything that anybody speaks over your life. When someone is trying to pour some negative vibes and some ill will things over your life, all they are doing is speaking about themselves. They are just projecting all of their ugly, all of their inner insecurities and everything that they feel about themselves right off on you. Volume 1.5 Deliberation Remix Journal, a 30-day transformational journey towards a healthier mindset. Get into some deliberation. That's what I had to do. In order to get to where I'm at here today, I had to deliberate. I had to sit down. I had to get into some peace and I had to get into some quiet so that I can understand who I am. When you got all that noise, when you got all that drama, when you got all this toxic people and an environment surrounding you, there's no way that you can tap into who you really are supposed to be because you got much noise going on. You got too much clutter going on. You got too much BS going on in your world. I had to change that. There needed to be some deliberation. Thank you so much for joining in there with me tonight. Thank you so much to my special guest, Lizzie Collins. I want to say a very special thank you to Alex Coquito. And on that note, I will see you when I see you. Take care. Thank you. Have a good night.